Hello and welcome back to the Dukascopy studios here in Geneva. Today we'll be discussing wealth managers and growth strategy, and joining me to discuss is Ayoob Rawat from Geneva Business Consulting. So Ayoob, welcome to the studios.
Pleasure to be here, Jessica.
So tell me, how would you describe the current state of wealth management industry?
Wealth management has been evolving with the financial services. Wealth management is part of financial services, which has been going through quite a bit of changes over the last 6-7 years because of the recession, because of problem that emanated from overseas. And these changes are accelerating. If you spoke to specialists 5-6 years ago, they would have told you these changes will take 5 years, 6 years to happen. But in reality, we are now seeing them happening in 3 years, even 2 years. What are those changes that has been taking place? First, as you know, undeclared money is probably over. Then we have the situation of, because of this undeclared money going back to the country of residence, you have new financial centers that has taken a big share of the market. Places like Singapore, Hong Kong, Mauritius, and other financial centers are reinventing themselves. Places like Luxembourg, Guernsey, Jersey, Panama, Malta are repositioning themselves to play in different niche. Then you have had the explosion or the growth of exchange-traded funds and index funds. New players, especially linked with ICT. ICT have brought a lot of new players on the market. Robo-advising, big data, as you know, is playing a big part in wealth management. Information, you transmit information. So nowadays, most people are privy to information, whilst before it was the domain of specialists. So nowadays, people are well informed. All of that has had the effect of putting pressure on margin. So margin in wealth management has shrunk. This is the state we are in today. This is where we are in today.
So what would you say are the challenges that are facing wealth managers in this current economic cycle?
I like the term challenges C, and I link them with the 3 C's on the question of what they're facing. One is compliance. Compliance, all the regulatory framework is has always been there, but is becoming more and more demanding and varied. The other C is capital. At the end of the day, capital linked with client acquisition. Client acquisition and client retention is very important in any business, as you know. And the client not now becoming, shall we say, onshore, you have to become more international to go and find the client. In the past, we were fortunate because clients used to come to us, we'd say offshore center. But nowadays, that is a cost. The big players don't have the problem of having to go and find the client because of their network. So small, medium-sized practices have got this problem. And the third C, Jessica, is commoditization. Nowadays, with products becoming so much available online, meaning that a lot of investors, a lot of clients can go online to acquire EFT index funds, and they don't even have to go through their banks. They can go direct, and the product will be held in custody in their name somewhere. So all of that are challenges that wealth managers got to take into consideration. As I say, I focus mostly on small, medium-sized practice rather than having to give advice to big players. I don't think they need me to advise them.
So those are the challenges. So what actions can wealth managers take to overcome these?
I think there are simple things that wealth managers should be doing. And these sometimes in the nitty-gritty of their day-to-day, focus that they have to do to run their business, they perhaps, and I do it as well, and all of us do it, we don't have the time to take a bit of backseat and look at the big picture again and say, where are we and where do we want to go? Because if we know where we are and we know where we want to go, then we have a better chance of reaching it. So what I advise my clients to do is basically to take stock, to look at where they are and what they want to achieve, and to consider the world now in a different perspective to what it has become, which is a global village where wealth is being created not only in Switzerland or in London or in Singapore, in Hong Kong. Africa is predicted to be the next growth area for wealth. So an asset manager or a wealth manager in Switzerland has got a lot to offer, because it's still a service that is perceived to be very professional, but you have to be there. You have to either find a joint venture relationship with a local practitioner or go there physically. We have accompanied quite a few wealth managers overseas to Malta, to London, to Singapore, to Mauritius, either to help them to set up or to help them to find local partners, so that at the end of the day they are able to manage their costs and manage their risk and get time to market, which is much bigger.
Absolutely. And how do you see the future of the industry?
I am very bullish about the Swiss label wealth management. I think some of my friends I speak to are perhaps not conscious of the high reputation that Switzerland has overseas. I consider myself an international citizen living in Switzerland, so I travel a lot. I travel to the Middle East, I travel to the UK, I travel to Africa, and everywhere you go, the Swiss brand has a very high reputation. And I don't think we in Switzerland realize that, appreciate that. And compared to other, shall we say, brand, we have a competitive advantage. So I think so long as we accept that we have to comply, so long as we accept that we have to use technology today and compete with new business model that is coming on board, like robo-advisors, like online traders, which what you do, whether it is equity, bonds, etc. And the younger generation are not afraid of technology. So to be able to speak to them and make sure that we prepare ourselves for the next generation, we have to adapt technology. So I think the future is bright for Swiss wealth management industry.
Well, Ayoob, thank you so much for coming in today and sharing your expertise with us.
Thank you for having me, Jessica.
And thank you for watching. For all the latest Dukascopy updates and exclusive interviews, do keep clicking back. Goodbye for now.